On episode 82 of the Hollow Chronicles podcast, Josh has some big questions to answer. Hit it.
Hey! What time does the 7 p.m. podcast start?
Right on time.
Right on.
Right when it's supposed to.
A podcaster is never late. What's that?
He arrives precisely when he means to.
Yeah, there we go. Thank you.
Frodo Baggins.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, that's the second Lord of the Rings reference in the last 5 minutes for us.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Welcome to episode 82 of the Hollow Chronicles podcast. We are your hosts. I'm Andy. I'm Josh.
That's like the second time you've done that. We're starting to meld. And I'm Josh.
Mind meld.
Yeah. So anyway, we're here. I'm one of your other hosts. This is a fun night tonight, right?
Yeah, it is. We've got some fun collector quandaries, issues, questions, procedures that we need to get through. But I would be remiss, Josh, if I didn't point out that within the last week, we have booked a hotel for Star Wars Celebration 2022.
How many rooms?
2 rooms.
Now. Yeah. One for jumping on the bed and the other one for sleeping.
Yeah, I guess.
All right.
We
did. We booked hotel rooms.
Yes, 1 room for our wives and 1 room for us.
Yeah.
Toys.
No, that's a win-win. Yeah. So no, we grabbed some rooms. A funny story that you brought that up. I totally forgot about that. I was literally walking the course when you reminded me, hey, can you get those tickets at noon? And I was like, oh, sure. And hopped in, and there were only 2,500 people in front of me in line.
That's it?
Yeah. And I was like, what's the capacity on one of these hotels? Now, it quickly dropped as people, I don't know, got bored, gave up, but I was able to stick it in there and the stay, just stick with it. And yeah, we got a couple of rooms.
Now I haven't asked you a question about this yet, but are they adjacent or are they on different floors?
No idea. It's just 2 rooms.
This is 2 rooms.
Now, I imagine the hotel will accommodate somebody that's booked 2 rooms at the same time by putting us next to each other. But I got to be honest, I don't care. Okay. I don't need to hear what's going on over there.
Yeah. I mean, is it going to have a door in between the 2?
Yeah. One of those locker, cool. Like I just hear click. I'm like, Andy's unlocked his side. Ball's in my court.
It's going to get weird. Okay. But I hope that you guys were all able to, that are going, were able to get your rooms sorted out. Plane tickets would be next, right? We weren't able to book any tickets yet. So,
where we live, if plane tickets fall through, we're in a car, man.
Yeah. For 14 hours, 14-hour car ride. And
that's Iron Man trip. No pee breaks.
Right.
Yeah, so not taking the wives, I understand.
That's just 2 rooms.
No. We should start a countdown with everyone out there.
My bags are packed. Are yours?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Sure they are.
Sweet.
I'm ready.
I'm ready. All right. Well, Josh, before we go any further, let's make sure we say hello to everybody that's joining us in the chat. It's good to see you guys.
It's great to see you.
It's good to see you guys.
The crew's all here.
And the crew is definitely here. And speaking of crew, a new addition to the crew is the last few episodes. A guy we like to call Jaxxon.
Yeah.
Although
we're not even going to give him his deal yet. We're just going to bring him in early. Are we going to bring him in with this deal?
No, not yet. Not yet.
All right.
Not yet. Just don't.
Andy producing in the chair.
Telling you what to produce.
Backseat producer.
Backseat producing. I hope all of you are able to get your hotels booked that plan on going. I hope you have your tickets. I hope it all goes smoothly.
I'm bringing Jaxxon in now because he's got a good story.
Okay, bring him in. I hope to see all of you guys. We will figure out a way to connect when we're all there. Our circle of influence, our circle of friends. We will get together. We will have an adult beverage together, and maybe
that's
maybe
good.
Sing some karaoke.
Yeah,
definitely.
Now, Jaxxon, welcome in, Jaxxon.
Jaxxon.
Your good story that you know exactly what I was talking about is that you saved some money through the booking company. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Let's hear it.
So I was reading Twitter about, I don't know, maybe 3 weeks ago, and people started talking about booking rooms before the block was even announced.
Right.
And I panicked and I booked through Expedia.
Were you able to get which hotel?
It was it was either the Hilton or the Hyatt. I think it was the Hyatt, and it was about like 0.4 miles away.
Right.
So not the closest one, but not like far by any stretch.
Sure.
And
that's good. Great for a razor scooter, man. You can cover that distance in no time.
Yeah, I was just gonna get Jerry to carry me on his back or something. So, but it ended up being about $1,800, I think, and I think the stay was Thursday to Sunday.
Okay,
like, so checking out Sunday, and I figured, okay, well, when they announced the blocks coming out, I said, well, I'll see if I can get a better deal, and I have a Hilton number, I think,
Honors.
from
Hilton.
Hilton Honors number from when I used to work my traveling in my previous job. So
is that a low key flex?
It is.
Okay. All right. Carry on.
I'm not about the low key flex.
Platinum.
I'm about the high key flex.
He's platinum.
No. So
Black
I
card.
ended up checking it out. I was able and I don't want to sound like I'm flexing again, but I've never been to a celebration ever. This is my first time.
Mine too. Ours too.
Okay. That's awesome. I can't wait to see you guys there.
I know, this is going to be fantastic. We should have gotten 7 rooms.
Well, yeah. One to jump on the bed, and 6 for our toys. Yeah. So
right.
And maybe a pull-out cot for whoever
sleeping.
Whoever comes
family members
shows
that
up.
night. Yeah.
Shows up.
So I thought, well, I don't know. I'm 46. I don't know how many years I have left.
Right.
Very
7.
cynical. When the tickets opened up in 2019, I booked for the Jedi Master thing. So
that's what I said.
Yeah.
I said, if you booked that early, he must be a Jedi.
I am, and I'll teach you the ways.
Well done.
Because you know what, I love going to concerts by myself. I love going to like cons by myself. I'm older now. I don't want to stand in line so much. I just want to fucking enjoy it. And honestly, like if you make that kind of money, then it's worth it. It's worth
if you
the
make
experience.
Hilton Honors platinum level
Oh
money.
my God. Shut up. Hold on, let me go get my Grey Poupon here.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
But of course.
So I ended up booking for more nights. So I think I'm staying over Sunday night now.
Wow.
And because
Sounds like we are too.
Well, here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. After like all of that time eating and drinking and spending way too much money on shit, are we really going to want to go home on a Sunday night? No, we want to go home on Monday morning and kill that day of work because we're not going to work. I mean, let's be honest. Nobody's going to work that day. We might as well be miserable in transit.
At home.
Together.
Together. Yeah, exactly. Let's be miserable together and get like a continental breakfast. And I ended up spending, or the booking is like $400 less than
through your Jedi level, through the one that you booked early when you freaked out. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Through the Hilton rewards that because I was able to enter my number at the time. And I'm like,
which is just one. The number one.
The number one. Jaxxon 1. Not the Jaxxon 5.
No.
Jaxxon 1.
There are a few capital letters.
Yeah.
Obviously the first one and the end. But okay, so you guys know. But yeah, so that's what happened.
Well, good. So you saved some dough going through that block, right? So the block is still open right now, correct? Before they open it up, I think on the 7th or the 13th. 13th.
Is it still open? Because I
believe it is.
Okay.
No, so the block's open for it, just like then it's free for all. But
okay.
I was, like I said, I was a little concerned when there were like 2,500 people online in front of me. I thought, oh wow, this is a big deal. but I was still able to get 2 rooms.
Yeah,
That's
2,500
great.
people split amongst like 20 hotels is no big deal.
Oh, well, what I was thinking is I looked up because we got the Hilton Convention Center. So it's like
We're there.
we're literally going to trip out of the
Me
hall
too.
into the
Yes.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
We're not flexing right now. As a matter of fact, we
This
might
is-
I think I might have gotten two queen bedrooms, and we might do a giveaway where one of our viewers gets to take one of the queen
one of
beds.
our patrons, patron exclusive. That would be so weird.
I think you should give away
Are you?
towels.
Do you enjoy snoring?
Hey,
Right.
strangers, let's sleep in a room. My wife would love that.
Do you love flatulence?
Oh.
Yeah. Anyway, so
Holo
exciting.
farts.
Aren't two
Holo
pillows?
farts. Holo farts. Well, exciting stuff. It seems more real to me now. I hope it seems real to you guys.
Right.
Not the stuff we just talked about. That's not real.
Yeah.
But,
Anyway, back to the serious podcast.
okay. Yeah.
Wow.
All right.
Oh, man.
So we're all going, and we hope to see you there. We'll
Yeah.
work out the details as we get closer. Jaxxon,
Yes.
it's
Good to be
time.
here.
It's time.
It's time.
Okay. Thank you guys.
Of course, it's time for you to go. All right, here we go, Jackson.
Let's hit it.
It's exactly. Take off the headphones. It's so loud.
Is there anybody named Jackson around?
The stuff of legend.
Oh man, I got to take that back to the lab. I'm
I-
really sorry, guys.
iPhone speakers exploding everywhere.
Oh,
All right, buddy.
Wow, I am so sorry. Well, so let's see. We our first segment we talked about the Shaken poster.
Yes, we
The
did.
most-
Howard.
Yeah, exactly. Good memory, guys. The most recent segment we covered Star Wars #1, the original granddaddy of them all, issue #1, and all the various reprints. Some of the what they didn't call variants back in the old days, but basically a trial for a new sales price, which is extremely valuable. And now we're going to fast forward to a more modern time, the 2010s,
Oh wow.
with the reboot or the restart of the Star Wars series and in canon, and the issue #1, which we'll cover eventually, but with the first issue of the new Volume 2 Star Wars series, I think there were about 60 or 70 variant covers of different artists, different values, different ratios, the different number of production and availability. But one thing that caught my attention was the art of John Tyler Christopher.
Yes,
And-
that is 3 first names.
Yeah.
That's right. John Tyler Christopher.
Does that mean
And,
he's an assassin also?
Yeah, he's got to be.
Well, he looks somewhat
Oh.
like an assassin.
Yeah, that's Unabomber without the hoodie.
Hey, look at him. JT. Oh, he does, doesn't he?
Now he's a
Like
great
Banksy's
guy.
little brother.
He does kind of look like Banksy's little brother. He's a great guy. He's on Twitter. He's very active on social media. He's got a good website. But he's also just a regular comic artist. He's done other illustrations, but what he became kind of famous for is the action figure variant. Now I'm just going to show you this, and we could talk a little bit about the details on this. So that is issue #1 of the new Star Wars series. Now I'm gonna put this on video here because I want to kind of get a little bit close to this. Let's see if I can. Can you guys still hear me?
Yes,
Yeah.
we can.
So check out the blister packaging.
Dang,
all right.
look at the edging. Yeah.
God, it looks very good.
And look at that the
looks-
lightsaber.
Saber's glowing.
Yeah.
Right.
It's got a hilt.
Yeah, shouldn't it be yellow?
Well,
So-
all right, so that's good that you mentioned that because actually,
Okay.
in a subsequent issue, there is an outfit where he has the yellow lightsaber. It's actually part of. They actually introduce it as part of canon, where he actually possessed a yellow lightsaber for a time.
Interesting.
The yellow lightsaber is a story in and of its own. because
yeah.
the packaging versus the action figures versus what he had in the movie, it all bounces around, and even bounced around even up through Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
So
Right. And look at his hair. Look at his hair. I mean,
it looks very well done.
Well, that
Right.
is like the artistic reinterpretation of the figure. I really like it.
Yes.
I think it's
Yeah.
great.
It's very good.
So, and this is honestly, guys, this is what brought me back into comic book collecting. So I started to read, and I didn't start issue 1 like when it first dropped. I actually started to read Darth Vader first, about 3 issues in, and I got hooked. And I realized that I wanted to buy every copy. To every issue of every series that was running, and they were starting to, drop a bunch of different series at the time. But what really got me interested in the action of collecting was the figure variants, because as I've shared with both of you, my mom's friend had a child a little bit later in life, so my brother and I were kind of forced at gunpoint to give our old collection away, and we had pretty much every figure. And yeah, I know. So this is like at some point I thought this was like the closest I could get to owning, to owning those figures. And actually I'll show you a little bit of how I present them.
So these are all comic book covers, though, right?
These are all individual comic
issue
book
1.
covers. These are all different issues, all
Wow.
different issues. And so he has done issues, variant covers for almost every Star Wars title, and probably at least once for every Star Wars title. But for the main runs, he had been doing a variant for every month. Now, what's really cool is he did a few different ones for the crossover event between Darth Vader and Star Wars, which is called Vader Down. You guys ever read that at all or see that?
I think I might even have it. I don't know that I read it a while back. Yeah, but go ahead.
Well, check out the early bird mail-in order.
Wow,
You like that?
Oh, that's cool.
That's fantastic.
Right.
What cool art. Yeah, that's great.
Now, this one is was a Wonder World Comics exclusive. He lives in Indiana. He works a lot with some of the local shops in Indiana and Michigan. I did end up tracking this one down on eBay, and some of the exclusives are kind of hard to find. But there are mail-in, like the early bird mail-in covers for like the Bounty Hunters. They have one with like the Emperor, Darth Vader, and I think Kylo Ren. So there's a lot of different variety. This one right here is one of my favorites. It was available via direct order from his website, and it's an extra long.
Oh, that's cool.
So it's front and back cover. So the front cover you can see is, by the way, the punch out. Isn't that amazing?
That's crazy.
The detail on these are fantastic. I have a video. We can watch that right there.
It's a genius idea,
Isn't it?
Yeah, very cool.
And by the way, the only time Old Crumb's been in a bubble.
Exactly. Don't
let
put
alone
crumb in the
Jabba.
bubble.
Yeah, can't do that. That's very cool. This was pre-Disney, right?
No, this was post Disney. This is like immediately. So once this is the start of the Star Wars comic. So it was shortly after, I think 2 years after the acquisition, around then.
So 2012 was the acquisition, right?
Yeah. So this is 2014, I believe.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So good.
Check this out. Ready? Vader. Oh, look at that.
Oh, shiny helmet, like the picture.
Cape.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Oh,
Yep.
They got the saber color right,
And
this
they got
time.
the tip.
Yep.
Tip, just the tip.
Always get the tip. Yes.
What does that say? Yeah.
Sweet.
So yeah. So again, this is something that really got me back into collecting. Let me see if I can pull up one more picture.
Shoot! Now I think I gotta get these.
Yeah. Right.
Oh,
They're
and
cool.
And
Jaxxon, are yours for sale?
You know what? I have a few extras.
Say no. We'll talk after the show.
Can work out a trade.
Always, yeah. I love
Yeah.
trades. By the way, so kind of an example of life imitating art, imitating life, imitating art. I guess I lost track, but
That's
Good
a
job.
so he's done the Secret Wars, the newer series of Secret Wars covers that look like the original 1984 Secret Wars action figures, the Marvel superheroes figures, which are fantastic. I have them on one of my walls right now. But he got the job to do the art for these new 3 3/4 inch Marvel Legends action figures. And this
So,
is Miss
so
Marvel right there.
the same guy that does the Star Wars figure variant comic
Yeah.
covers is doing because I know there are people in this chat right now that are collecting those
Yeah.
5 POA
Mhm.
Marvel retro figures, and I have. It's been so tempting to walk by those, and because they look so cool.
Ooh, unpunched.
Right? Yep.
Very
You
nice.
cut him in at the box.
Atta
Nice work.
baby.
This is one of 3, by the way. I always stock
Ooh.
up. Yeah.
Nice. Very nice.
Yep.
One-
And
one to-
I'm gonna be unprofessional here and grab my camera and show you a little bit where you guys may have seen this before, but so that is how I present them.
so you
so
frame 'em.
so this is your collection of heart right here.
Yep.
Huh?
Yeah,
That is
And-
very cool.
let me
Now
get a little bit
framed.
closer here.
God, that looks so good.
So I've got the Gentle Giant TIE Fighter.
Pilot. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that looks like
Ooh,
Luke's
he got
saber.
You bought her. You bought Mythosis or whatever.
Of course I did.
Yeah,
He's
got her.
He's got her. Of course he does.
He goes with robe. I'll go with bald.
God, those are great. Those look so nice framed. As a guy who
They
appreciates
look
some wall
fantastic.
art, that looks very nice.
Right. And I've kind of been debating about changing up the layout of the office and my recording space. But I just love the covers and how they have kind of a almost like a homogeneous pattern, but they're all very unique. Obviously all the figures are very unique.
Well, I like that they're not exactly. They're just a little tweaked from the originals. A little like looking at the camera a little differently,
Yep.
and I think they're very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
And, Brandon pointed out with the Luke Skywalker, the farm boy, the figure was blonde, but the image was brown hair.
Yeah.
Yes,
That was
of course.
It's kind of
Yeah.
a cool little
It's a great trade.
Yeah.
nod there. Okay, Jackson, I don't know if you know the answer to this. I don't off the top of my head, but are hardbacks about the same size as a comic?
No,
I feel like comics
No.
are a little bigger.
they're bigger,
Yeah, a little
like
taller.
8x10.
Yeah. They're much bigger.
What size are those
Not much
frames?
bigger.
What size are those frames that you got?
So this is actually interesting. When I first moved here, all the walls were blank and pretty kind of drab. When I started to
Cover
collect
it with
these,
Star Wars shit. That's
it would absolutely. When I started to collect these, I figured I am going to someday frame these, and I had to figure out how to do it because the usual 8.5 by 11 frame, it doesn't look good. It's the dimensions are off. I ended up finding a variety of frame that they sell at IKEA that's specifically for diplomas and certifications like
what are
that kind of
those?
thing. Well, it's like Muslix.
Diploma. Wow.
Mm.
For rich people.
Oh yeah,
like
I think you
you.
meant the name. I'm sorry, diplomas. Yeah. Okay, I'm sorry. The proof of purchase from a Lucky Charms box. No, it's joking.
Right, there you go.
Sure.
So I found those. I ended up finding a deal at IKEA because they stopped making them. They were like $5 a piece. I actually still have a stack of 15 or 20 that I'm going to eventually use for comic covers. But they're great. I keep them in the plastic bag. I have and I keep them with a carded. So there's a board behind them, and then they're matted on black paper.
Very nice.
And then in the frame. So yeah.
I like the Hugenfluder. I think it's more
That's
like
right.
it's more like the Fremen comic. hanging
Mm.
picker.
Nerd framing.
Yeah, nerd the frame.
Nerd framing.
Nerd and
Excuse
photo.
me, can I get 24 nerd framing?
A wasting money.
Actually, if you guys want to see, if you want to see the Marvel ones, the superheroes. I don't know if you guys can catch those right there. Can you see that, or is the light coming off too much?
No, yeah, no,
So,
I see
yeah,
it. Those
you
are
see
cool.
'em?
Yeah.
Oh,
You
look
got
at that.
frames on everything
Gundam
there,
over
Jackson.
there.
That's impressive. Well done.
Most impressive.
Most impressive.
Welcome to the
So,
layer.
So the value of these, they kind of depend. Issue number
figure.
one, they depend on the figure, because John Tyler Christopher does direct retail from his website, and those are subject to availability. Those are a little bit more rare. Like that Rancor, there's a Rancor cover that is, I think you can find it on eBay for about $60. When I bought it, it was about 25 or 30, I think. And then also, as we talked about before, with the with the grading system, if you get it slabbed, obviously that increases the value and the resale potential. I think the most expensive one I saw on eBay as of the time of the show was about $1,200, and it was a Han Solo #1 signed by Stan Lee, which I have no way of of authenticating that, but Stan Lee's name on a comic is.
If it was
pretty
signed
valuable.
like last year, then don't buy it.
It's just some guy named
A
Stan Lee.
2020 signed by.
Yeah,
Yeah, if the comic came out in 2020,
Yeah.
If it says Steve Lee,
right.
Stanley.
Stang Lee.
Stanley,
Yeah.
Stanley L.
So,
Uh,
but
Stanton.
aside from the Vader down and some of the issue #1s that were a little bit larger, which usually like $4.99 retail, most of the comics that you see on here for retail went for about $3.99 as usual. But again, like some of the comics shops have a hard time keeping them in stock because a lot of collectors will snap them up. So
they look super collectible and
Yeah.
right up our alley. Now,
What-
and look at Andy's already cooking. One more question.
I got a question, Jackson. How much is the Boba Fett one?
oh well, we'll talk.
Would you-
I may
would
have an
you-
extra.
well-
Hunting bounty. All right. Well,
Mm.
Jackson, thank you so much for that. All right, Jackson, if you want,
Wait,
stick
can you ask me
around.
that question again, Andy?
Same question?
Yeah, ask me that again.
How much is the Boba Fett comic worth?
What does your heart tell you? I have to do my Lord of the Rings reference. Sorry.
Yes, as often as we can tonight. That'll be a
LOTR,
sub theme.
LOTR.
Yeah, Lord of the Rings quotes. Thank you from the chat. We appreciate it, and we'll try and do it
There we go.
on here.
All right.
So,
All right.
does your heart tell you?
Yeah.
What does your heart tell you?
Yes.
Awesome.
yes.
All right. Well, let's thank you very much.
Man.
We need an outro for you. It would be great, and one that didn't destroy eardrums. But other than that, it was a great.
Or I could just stay if you want me to. I mean,
No, I know. I would actually give you the outro and then let you stay. But I'm just thinking you're staying.
Just to signify that
staying.
this segment is done.
Yeah. So we'll do.
Oh, okay.
Hold on. I'm gonna do. Let's do. You know what I'm gonna
What?
do? Hold on. Yeah. No, I know that one would be great. That would be great. What do I don't have anything.
Where's the soundboard at?
It's
Somewhere else.
Look, things happen around here. Okay.
Mhm.
Things
Mhm.
happen.
Things happen.
I'm not in control of all of them.
All right.
Only here, but yeah, I can make it happen.
Okay. In the news recently, in the last secret.
I guess that mic doesn't pick everything up, but yeah. Secrets, you're ready. Secret Star Wars.
Okay, Secret Star Wars. Yeah. In the news in the last week, Lego dropped that they would be coming out with a few more Mandalorian themed Lego sets, which include the following. As soon as Josh pulls that
Keep talking.
photograph up, some of the new Boba Fett look to the minifigure and Slave One.
Oh, like painted, well painted boba.
Yeah, like
Sherwin-Williams
fresh
boba.
coat boba. All right, so this picture that is perfectly covering up Jaxxon at the moment.
Mhm.
You'll see that there is a new version of the Slave
Better.
One, which would be which would be yet another version. Probably, I think this is about the 4th or 5th version of Slave One. So think of that what you will. What really intrigued me, there's a couple of small sets in the bottom left corner there of the picture, but what
Wait,
what
the bottom
really
left
intrigued
corner?
yes the other side, yes, the other side, there you go, right there. But, we're the Imperial ship there, as well as the Mandalorian version of the ITT, the Imperial Troop Transport. So I think those are very cool. There's a whole bunch of minifigures on the way, Mandalorian minifigures on the way. I think as a household that is all in on Lego, both my boys love Legos. Excuse me, Lego.
Mm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
plural.
Chat, let him have it.
Yes.
Hello,
Mhm.
chat.
It was
Go
a
ahead.
slip. But I can tell you that we will be getting no fewer than 2 of these sets.
So let me ask you
Mm.
this. Is Lego the only toy manufacturer that truly has their finger on the pulse when it comes to the toys that, I mean, how can they, obviously they can build them from the ground up,
yes,
so to
they
speak.
can.
But like they pump out the best toys. They're just great.
Well, I feel like they're more current.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Like they're like we don't have the Imperial what was that? The Imperial it's not a battleship. What
The troop transport?
no. The one at the top. Isn't that
Oh.
like Moff Gideon's ride?
Well, yes,
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 it is.
Yes, it is. You also saw them in Rebels, though. So I mean, they have
I
been
know.
around.
No, it's not like Lego's like, oh, we watch Rebels. Let's get this one ready for
No,
when
this is Mandalorian.
Mandalorian.
This is
No.
These are all Mandalorian
Yes,
sets.
yes.
So
They just put out the toys. Like I said, though, but man, the designers just must be watching every episode and they're like, I got that one.
dibs.
You know what, guys? Why don't we have a Black Series Mandalorian sarcophagus with TCW Season 7 Maul action figure for $50? I'd buy that. Why? Why?
Well, for $280, you can buy the hot
Yeah.
toy,
Yeah.
which is
Oh, I know that. I know.
frickin' rat. Oh, do you
It's
know
glorious.
that?
I don't know that. I don't. I mean, I know that, but I don't know that.
Okay. No,
I'm not
yet.
gonna know it.
Nobody knows it yet. Like
Oh.
know it in the biblical sense. To
What
know.
does your heart tell you?
Uh,
What does your heart
not
tell you?
not all tears.
That is a good question.
Are unhappy.
I mean, Boba got a paint job, but he didn't touch Slave. What the hell's his problem?
Yeah.
He's letting that thing look like crap. Okay, so anyway, great representation from Lego. I mean, Lego, like I said, probably the best current, using your words, toy manufacturer. They keep up on the times and they will give you the toys you want to see if you appreciate Lego. I mean, which it's hard not to. Like, I'm not as big a Lego collector as anyone.
As some. Well,
Yeah,
Pete
but-
brings up a good point too. Lego's cranking out the good stuff, and they're
Yes,
usually in
that's
stock.
what I'm
They're in
talking
stock.
about.
You
It's
go to
a-
Target right now, you will find Star Wars Lego.
Who's
You will
Lego's
not find Black
No.
Series or Vintage Collection.
like who's Lego's buyer and manufacturer? I mean, yes, they're made from the same little blocks and they're all the same shape relatively. You know, there's 150 different sizes and kinds plus some specials for each vehicle. But golly, I mean, that's not a mold.
Hey, Chris.
Golly. But yeah.
Uh.
Anyway, it's good on Lego. That's a good release. And I guess Star Wars Disney has to rely on Lego to keep the toys that some people want to see, you know, within 6 months of watching
Yeah, just
season, you know, up there in your face.
I mean, we're not bitter or anything, you know, but
Nope,
no.
nope,
My uncle
totally
says
not.
no
No,
sense
not at
being
all.
bitter if you don't show it.
right.
mhm.
So I love that saying.
All right.
No sense
Well,
being bitter if you don't show it.
let's uncover Jaxxon.
So I want to give just a little poster update without any photographs. Okay, so I'm not spoiling anything. I'm really close to a a room review, a collection room review.
Oh,
And we've Josh and I never have done that in the 2 years we've been doing this. We've never done a room review, and I'm getting close. I'm actually getting a little excited about it.
Okay. Of your own room?
Of my own room,
I
of
see.
my own collection.
Do we feel like
We've
No, I know.
we
but what
will
I'm saying
show
is-
anybody's collection, hashtag show me your collection. By the way, we're a little dry on new collections. We would love to show yours. DM us or email us at holochronicles@gmail.com. And we would love to feature your guys' Star Wars collections. We'd love to do that. But
is there a
Josh and I-
song for that?
There is.
Show me your collections, right?
Sure.
There
Why don't
is.
you make an ear-piercing drop for that?
Not right now.
Not right now.
Not right now. But
I'm
Josh
on
and I, we've never like fully sat down and like we've taken pictures of things in our collections. We do that quite a bit actually, but we've never actually gone through like a room review. Like for example, Universal Collector Matt, he just did one of he did an updated like collection review of his own stuff, which is cool. I always like watching that, things like that. I love to see what other people are into. And I would imagine there might be a couple people that would be curious to see what our rooms look like.
I just don't want to give them the full enchilada.
The full
you know what I
money?
mean? You know what I mean?
I know.
Because there's room for disappointment.
There is, but there's also, as always,
Like a lot of room.
right.
For a lot of disappointment.
Like so much room.
So much room for disappointment.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
So anyway, I'm close. I'm close to doing that, but I wanted to just share something with you, Josh and Jackson, and people within earshot of my voice. I've found, because as stated, I've been on a poster kick lately. Movie
shit.
posters, original movie poster kick. And what I'm finding is, and maybe this will surprise you, Josh, that I'm finding that it's better to get the foreign posters because there's a lot less reprints. There's a lot less copied versions, or
You're talking about like fraud, fakes or
there's a lot less fraudulent versions out there of the foreign things than there are of the USA made. And that's, I mean, I suppose if I really sat and thought about it, that makes sense.
Well, I do have to ask on the foreign posters in a different language that you can't read. Are you sure it says what it says?
No, not 100%. I am
a
not.
lot less fraud. It says like
I am not as fluent in these
Stupid
other
asshole.
languages. This dumb shit just bought
Return
this
of the
poster.
dumbass.
Yeah, just bought this poster from me
man.
for $75.
No,
but
Stork killer.
What I'm finding is that it's a lot easier to purchase authentic foreign posters than it is to purchase authentic USA posters.
We'll see about that.
No, I'm. This is one thing I'm finding.
sorry. I'm
Yeah,
sorry. I was
this
still on
is-
my kick where you were getting cheesed by foreign poster sellers.
No, I mean they take longer to arrive, and there's a little bit more risk involved because sometimes you're buying from overseas sellers, which is never like totally comfortable. There's a bit of faith that goes in on those kind of purchases, but I mean there is on every purchase. So it's like I'm just right now. I've got a German Return of the Jedi. I've got Turkish Star Wars Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. I've got Spanish Rogue One. I've got Italian Star Wars. I've got
Jesus, sounds like World War One in your.
I know it's like there are some very very cool ones out
Turks,
there.
not very supportive, but
Yeah, I've got an Indian Attack of the Clones poster on the way. It's so freaking cool. I can't wait to show that off.
Wait, was that? Did you send me the picture of that?
I sent you. Did I send you all 4 pictures of the ones that I saw?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I ended up purchasing one of those.
The one that we were talking about.
I don't remember.
Can I say something about it? Or
Yes, you
do
can. Go ahead.
Is it the one with Ayla Sakura and for some reason like back to back with Zam?
Zam Wessel? Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the one.
That's the one, dude.
Oh my god, I love it.
Okay.
That's like when you see like you go to like the dollar store and there's like a pair of underwear with like Spider-Man and Superman on it. I want that on my crutch. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Interesting.
A crossover.
Sorry.
Interesting.
It's experience.
Turkish delight. I get you, Pete. There, I got it. I get the joke. So anyway, yeah,
That poster does sound awesome.
and we'll talk about this more when it finally arrives in like 3 months, but because it's coming from New Delhi, and
Oh my god.
the for whatever reason, the Attack of the Clones Indian posters were like strong female centered. There's a Padme Amidala. There's a Zam Wessel and Count Dooku. There's a Zam Wessel and Ayla Secura. Like they were even strong on Zam Wessel. Like this is gonna
Like Zam.
We're leaning into Zam.
We're going all in on
Right.
Zam here.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. Her one shot. You know.
Look at the size of that rifle. Put her on the.
Right,
Put her
right.
on.
Yeah, she's just faking it. She's alive. She'll be fine. She just
She's
needs
fine.
to sleep it off. She needs to sleep it off.
It was a tranquilizer dart. It
Sure.
didn't kill her.
Sure.
Anyway, so they're just bizarre looking, and I love that about it. So we'll see when it gets here. I'll make sure we show everybody. But yes, that is something you can look forward to here on the Holo Chronicles podcast.
Totally spoiled.
Anyway,
Sorry.
if you're interested in getting original, authentic Star Wars movie posters, don't shy away from the foreign versions of those, because a lot of them still have the same artwork, the same Hildebrandt or Young or Drew Struzan artwork, but they're just in different languages, right? The words look a little bit different. So that's all.
Sure.
I would encourage you to take a look. There's some very unique versions and just as authentic and original as any of the popular ones that you may have grown up looking at. So there's my spiel on
There's
the
your spiel.
poster update.
There is nothing better than a verbal description of artwork.
Well, you're gonna love this next piece.
So, to our main topic, Josh.
Now let's get to it.
We've got a main topic, and as it's, believe it or not, on the thumbnail it says strategies for selling your collection. And
I'm just sad. I'm just sad that Shabby's in the chat tonight.
are you? How come?
I'm just sad. I'm sad because I really like Shabby and I feel like I'm going to disappoint him. But go ahead.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
So, shout out to Shabby.
Yeah, we love Shabby.
We do, and Josh has
Mark
come.
Shabby Geek.
Josh has come to a melancholy
Sad.
realization that he's going to sell his Black Series.
Well, it's one that's been in the works for a while.
It
And
has been.
It's one I checked, and then
In fairness, you've been kicking this idea around for a
Yeah.
while, and you've come to a conclusion that it's time
it is.
for the Black Series
It is.
to end.
It is for the
Sort
second
of.
time. For the
Sort
second
of.
time.
And
And like any good relationship, or bad relationship, or one that maybe has run its course, you have to make sure that you hit a pit stop before you make a quick decision, which I did, I think, a year ago. And I've just come to the conclusion that that's a part of my collection that I find very cool. But to use our coined phrase, it's a collection that I'm okay seeing in somebody else's, that I will appreciate the hell out of somewhere else, like Shabby's, like Shabby Geek. That the only reason I say that, the behind the scenes, is Shabby has a complete set of Black Series for 112, I believe.
Yeah.
Nearly complete. So plus all the, I don't know about the extra stuff, but anyway, and I was kind of proud to have a lineup. We coined the phrase, what did we coin? The Chewy decimal system.
Yes,
Because they're all numbered. It's like a library, and we teased because that's how they're kind of displayed. When you have 150 or 200 boxes of 6-inch figures, you've got to either have a ton of wall space, a ton of shelf space,
yeah.
or you got to line them up kind of sideways, and that's what I had to do, and that's definitely what Shabby did. And it's an impressive display at any level, above 100 because it really looks like a great comic or book collection. So but I came to the conclusion just for what do we got here?
No, the comments are great. They're exactly what you thought. You thought they would be.
Listen, I'm going to look in the camera for this one. Listen,
Okay.
I told Andy, I said, and this is before we were going to do a show about it, before anything. I said, my only reservation is letting Shabby down. That's the only, like, if it wasn't for Shabby, I don't give two shits. I'd just be like, I do. I love them, but they'd be gone and we'd move on. But it is tough. And that's why, part of the title of the show should have been like, and in the description, it's like, are you making the right decision? Is it the right decision? And it's tough. It's a tough decision as a collector. And look, with the people in the room, a lot of which have kind of their own shows, or they've shared their collections with us or on Twitter. They have massive, big collections. Like Jaxxon has a huge collection, and it's hard to kind of at some point decide like, hey, that's just the route I don't want to go anymore. It's a route I absolutely love. It's one that I've invested a lot of time and money, quite frankly, into. But on the whole, the question I have to ask, like we asked in the description, was, why are you getting rid of it? And one is because it isn't my main joy in my collection. And room is of, importance and also displayability and all that. And I came to find that I just wasn't enjoying it as much anymore. I was buying the hell out of them, still am. And you're just pumping up. Yeah, you're just pumping up all the chats while I talk. I know.
No, I understand, because there have been 2 times.
Yeah,
I've been in on Black Series, and then I've been out on Black Series. And what I do now is I only get the troopers, right? The clone troopers, to be precise. So good, JD.
Oh, it's just a headache.
It's just good soldiers. God, my head.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so you're doing this on a scale that I've never done.
Right.
When I was in on Black Series, I had the orange and the blue lines.
Right.
And then I was out because then we got into the red line.
And you, to be truthful, you bought the orange and the blue lines because all of a sudden you had these 2 complete sets of kind of this iconic up and coming, series, not up and coming, but the established series.
Right.
And you were like, boom, I'm in with the anchors. You had orange and blue anchor series.
And I did it twice.
Right.
And then I sold the first group to Trevor.
Right.
And then I got in on it again because I happened to get them for a great deal. And then I had a few of the red boxes, and it was like, I can't do this. These are awesome, but this is not where I want to focus.
Right.
So then I was out on them again, and I then sold the orange and the blues to you.
And you did. And that, I guess what I was saying was kind of my feeling. It's like, all of a sudden I have this anchor point. Cause like I said, I'm not a completist, but I do like, I'm a mostist because of the last name.
Right. You're
yeah. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, you're fine.
Thanks.
But anyway, I'm working. You're
okay. That. I see that too. Anyway, so I understand, Josh. I get it. And we are all allowed to collect what we want to, how we want to, right?
Mm-hmm.
Let's make that perfectly clear. We are not, Josh and I, and Jaxxon, I will include you in on this.
Thanks.
We are not so elitist that we can't change our mind. Okay. We can't decide to unload some of our collection so that we can go down a different road, or we've just simply run out of space, because space and opportunity are definitely things that can limit what we can collect. And so
we're in a unique room with the people that join us, live in here. We're in a room of pure collectors. I mean, we go down the line here and we have extreme collectors in here. And by extreme, I mean, if you don't just have a Funko Pop on your desk and a couple of, trinkets on your shelves and a picture signed by whoever at the one con you went to, which by the way, all collections are great. But these people in here have collections,
right?
So anyway, that's why you understand our pain. Much respect.
So anyway, that's all the prologue to what we're going to talk about. Josh, you have not only taken hours to catalog and photograph what you have. You want to put a picture up of the bins?
Yeah.
But you've taken time to organize everything in such because for a while you were like, do I sell it as one big lot?
Well,
right?
And that's still going.
And that's
can continue on.
The conversation is still happening because total you have maybe just a hair over 200 Black Series boxed figures that have never been out of the box. They are in excellent shape. And I'm not saying that because people in the chat might be tempted to throw a number at you, but maybe you are. You're welcome to try. But you've taken that like 204, we'll say, and there's 176. Was that the number that you gave me? Yeah. 176 that you're gonna eventually try to unload.
The majority, I'm only keeping like 30, right?
You're keeping 30, and those 30 happen to be what the carbonized figures.
I like the carbonized line as like, and by the way, the 30 that I picked were just like, what makes me happy? To my point.
Does it bring you joy?
To my point. What makes me happy? What do I really like? And I started with carbonized. I really like the carbonized. And then as I'm going through these things, which are literally lined up on shelves in the Chewy decimal system.
Keep it secret.
And I haven't.
Keep it safe.
And I haven't. There's another. Boom. Yeah. Ding, 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 ding. We need to set a ring. Or Sauron's eye just shows up every time we make a reference. So anyway, that's was part of my decision-making process was like, what do I just thoroughly enjoy? And some of it I was going through and I'm just looking at the number, the series number of the item. And I'm like, oh, next one's Jango Fett. And I pull out my Jango Fett and it's signed by Tamora. And I was like, oh, whoa. And I almost missed it because you're kind of in this robotic, cataloging mentality. And it's signed by,
you stood in line.
I stood in line
2 years ago
for Morrison to sign that for me.
Almost to the day.
Yeah, almost to the day.
I think you should keep that one.
That one went into the keep pile.
Thank you, Jaxxon.
Agreed. Thank you. Finally, I was on the fence, but yes. So anyway, I don't know what you were talking about there because I'm still working, but yeah, that was. There's a lot of decision making that right. We couldn't make the title big enough. Like what are the strategies for selling your collection? But really, it should have been what are the strategies for deciding to sell your collection?
Yeah. So here's what we talked about. You could sell it as one big lot, and
right.
and that while that is a fast way to get rid of everything, you may not get your bang for the buck out of it. And which may or may not be a contributing factor. Like maybe you just want to be done with it and get rid of them all.
Hold on, I got to stop you right there.
Okay.
We got to bring in the expert. He's here. Shabby's here. Oh, God.
Hey!
With lights.
He looks angry.
Oh, God, he's got lights. It's so beautiful.
He looks angry. God.
I wouldn't say angry. I'd say, when you fall in love and you've met the perfect girl and you've gone away to Paris for a weekend and you're going into these shops and you're buying rings and you're thinking of the future, and then she turns around at dinner and says, it's not working. There's something just not right. And you just have no idea why. You have that, like, what have I done? What have I said? What can I say? I mean, that is a Chewy decimal system right there. That's
is that all? Is that all, Shabby?
There's no more Chewy. There's no more Chewy decimal system. You look up there. There's no exclusives. Heartbroken. You go on YouTube and you watch these channels about like-minded people who you think, not only are handsome, but are very clever in their toy collecting. And it's weird. And I don't know what to say, Jaxxon, Andy. I don't know what to say. You know,
Yeah, it's like my dad would say to me sometimes. I'm not mad. I'm just disappointed.
yeah, I think, yeah, I have 4 children. They wouldn't do what Josh has done to me.
Well,
okay, yes. Let's address before we get to the tearing out of my heart. Let's address the beautiful background that Shabby has created.
Oh,
hey! Oh my God!
It's a work in progress. Like I said,
It's a great work in progress.
But I'm
Holy
getting there,
moly.
and like I said, it's looking pretty cool. I put all sorts on it, and I've moved my Black Series back to the 2 decimal system, which is the best system. Yeah, so I'm really happy with that. Oh, my library's in the hallway, so I've done all my books. So I'm halfway there. I've still got a lot more to go, but this is what I was doing. I was listening to the Hollow Chronicles and enjoying life, doing my work, and then this came up, and it was like it just hit me hard. I thought, I'm having a good time here. Why would people let me down like that, Adam?
I know.
yeah,
I swear to God, Shabby, I'm not even. Am I joking?
No, you're absolutely not joking. Your biggest concern in all of this is, I think it's going to bum Shabby out.
Yeah.
Which is funny, but he loves you, Shabby.
I do.
So,
Shabby, I have something that might make you happier.
Okay.
Might cheer you up a little bit. As of this week, I will have 3 of each of the Target exclusives.
at least, baby. Atta baby.
Nice.
Well,
What are you missing?
And 5 Anakins.
I don't
Because I'll be damned if I let those goddamn
Scalpers.
flippers have it. Yeah, I am all about the trade now. I made my first successful trade. I traded one of the hawks that I found. I swear to God, there were only hawks in my region, and then Anakins, but 6 or 7 hawks deep. So I traded one for an Obi-Wan to a guy I met on Twitter.
Hey, you're not helping, Jaxxon.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. Jackson, I think you should start Black Series, and I'll watch your videos, mate. No problem. I'll sign up for that. That's I'll get all the community to come aboard and.
Chris Ryans wants an Anakin and an Obi from me. I know where you are, Chris. Chris, shout out. We'll chat.
So,
man.
So let me ask you this, Shabby, since you're the Black Series guy that's still hanging on to his stuff. Let me throw a scenario at you, because this is a legitimate conversation that Josh and I have had. Let's say, because you just recently moved, all right? Let's say the place where you were going to keep your Star Wars stuff was smaller than what you just came from, and could not display everything that you had. Now, if you were going to sell your Black Series, this is hypothetical. If you were going to sell your Black Series, would you consider doing it all in one lot? Would you break it up by movie? Would you break it up by orange, blue, and red line? Like, just off the top of your head here, how would you go about getting rid of this? Because there are some figures that have held their value very well over time. Yeah. And there are some that haven't, that are less than what you would originally have bought them for. So kind of what would you do?
This is the truth. This is not me trying to. Josh sent me a 000 last year, and you sent me a Qui-Gon.
Yep.
And you know that it was hard for me. I needed about 3 or 4 left of the 112, and you both gave me one for Christmas, and I bought the other one for retail price. Now, that figure that I bought for retail price is now commanding at least $90 to $110.
Jesus.
So I would do the same thing as what you two would do. If I was going to sell my Black Series, I would display them all for our community. And I would say to the community, you pick the ones you need at retail price. Then with what I've got left, I'd probably sell it as a batch if it was up to me. The nicest thing about our community is we talk about scalpers and we talk about, you know, like what Jaxxon was saying, the amount of money that people are forking out and so forth. Yet none of us do it. We all, Brian TK on Papa God Signs just sent me the Masters of the Universe, the exclusive one for retail price, not for the $129 that. So I would do the same thing. The nicest thing about this community now, we all look after each other, and now we all send each other stuff and help each other out. That's exactly what I would do, but I'm not selling it. Let's just get that.
Yeah. Okay. So, would you be inclined to sell to friends or not have to deal with haggling with friends and sell to strangers?
Or the vice versa.
I do friends
do not
first,
deal with
though.
haggling with strangers is the big thing, you know.
Yeah.
Let me lay out the scenarios other than the, you know. So let's say the only other position I would pose is what are you gonna say?
I was gonna say, do you feel comfortable giving like specifics, like for the 176 that you have on action figure 411 that has an estimated value?
No, I mean
Okay.
the value. Well, sure. I mean, Shabby, you know what your collection's worth, right? You know what it's worth at dollar value. If you go to action figure 41, the number's 411.
Action figure 411.
You can quickly. They have a pretty simple site that's a little, you know, it's a little clunky, but they've updated it to where you can actually enter in what you have, and then download it, export it to a spreadsheet if you want to, and kind of track like, hey, this is what my collection's worth. It's kind of fun for those. You know, like that's what I used it for when I was, you know, and M was proud of it and like, oh, that's kind of cool. You know, so action figure 411 will give you the latest, and this is an important point. It will give you the latest average eBay sales price, you know, some Amazon sales price too. So what's cool about that is that you can kind of see, you know, there's high ends and there's low ends to any figure out there. There's some really amazing figures like first edition Mandalorian in the white box. He's like $150. Cara Dune has jumped way up for obvious reasons. San Diego Comic-Con Jabba's throne is like $300, you know, or $250.
Josh,
you know.
Can I ask a question? Does action figure 411, do they have separate distinctions about in box and out of box?
No, it's all in box. It's all mint in box. That's what they do. So loose is because loose is relative to condition, right? So mint in box is what they go with. But so you can go in there and kind of you know designate your collection, which is fun, or you know log your collection in. So that's where I'm at now. For like Andy said, there's this quandary. It's like for part of me, it's like, look, to be honest, the collection is replacing another collection need. You know, Shabby, I appreciate your helping the community out and would do the same as well. But part of me is like, look, I'm, you know, some of this, I'm not a scalper. I bought these, probably some of them I bought it. They're probably, well, most of them I bought, if you look at them, at less than what they're worth or more than what they're worth now, because I bought them at $20 or $22.99, you know? So part of me wants to say like, hey, if I'm going to replace this collection with something else, what would it be? But
hot toys.
It might be hot toys. It might be hot toys. It might be, you know, who knows? So, but the real question we have is like, do you try and sell it as a lot? And a lot should come at a discount. You can't go on action figure 411 and price it out at the average eBay price, which by the way, doesn't include the 20 to 30% you get cut by eBay when you're done. Shipping and all of that, you know.
Yeah, shipping and taxes.
Yeah, so that's like the premium price. So if you were to go in and be like, hey, look, I just want to sell this whole thing and I want somebody to have it and enjoy it, and I just want a fair price when we're done to a stranger, right?
Yeah.
And then the other side of it would be, do I part it out and go piece by piece? Do I part it out and go series by series? Like maybe you get a droid line, or like one that's really popular outside of the blue and orange would be like Afra, the trio of Afra. Everybody wants. They're like, give me. Yeah. I even saw BT1 in there. You know, give me the Afra trio, or give me the you know. Well, the Afro trio includes 000. So yeah, there you go. So there's a lot of considerations, and that's why we said, what are the strategies? Let's assume that from a, you know, let's just assume you're trying to sell it. There's really two ways. You can part it out, or three ways. Part it out, on eBay, sell it as an entire lot to maybe a Facebook group or something like that, if you're lucky, or you can sell it to a shop. And I've explored all three options, and they all have their pros and cons.
Yes,
Right?
Yeah, they all have fun, yeah.
So let's talk about number one, parting it out. The issue with parting it out is what? The premium guys are going to go. They're all going to go. The ones people want.
Yeah.
Like Shabby, you understand. I went.
Yeah,
and
you're gonna
paid-
be left with you're gonna be left with your gin ursos. You're gonna be left
Yeah,
with
you're gonna be left with your raisin BB-8s and and your Finn number one. All of those I went. All those I went and bought for $5 or $10. On eBay plus shipping, right? And to fill up my number to get that Chewy decimal system complete. But then you're kind of left with those, right? And then you're like, man, I don't want to piecemeal these out one at a time. I mean, what is your time really worth? eBay's not an easy process. It's not super complicated, but one figure at a time times 100.
You're almost better just throwing them out.
You could be like, I just made $500, and it took me 700 hours.
Yeah.
What's that?
Yeah, the nice
But I
thing
lost my
about
job.
a big bundle is that. I mean, you've got, your Revens, you've got your Dr. Afras in there, you've got your Clone Commander Codys if you've got exclusives. So you can put your Jin Ursos and your cat and all the ones that in together. So that's the pro to selling it all together.
Right.
But
right.
I would still would do the community first and then everything. That's just my opinion. That's just what I would do.
Yep. And then and the next would be if you were to go to as a lot, and then a lot becomes that discount, right? You have to do the discount. And then the hybrid might be you unload the valuable ones and then you sell the rest to a shop. So the shop, that could be another option too. But all of it is a difficult decision. It's all difficult.
And
don't sell it. They are. If you don't sell it, it's not going to be difficult, is it?
See, Shabby, this is the problem. This is the problem. It's too influential.
So you were approached by a toy shop.
Yeah.
That said I'd be interested in buying all of it.
Right.
But at about
50%.
About 50% of the value,
which is normal.
Which is if you've ever dealt with shops, you understand that they buy things with the intent on making money off of them. So yes, they're going to be less than retail.
But to be fair to Shabby's point, 50% is retail price for everyone across the board.
That's
what I'm saying. So why sell to a shop? And instead, if you decide to sell to a shop, you might as well part it out to your community because
that's about dollars and cents wise, it's about the same.
Right.
But at the end, you're not left with the leftovers.
With the remnants. And the remnants are, as a completist, a mostly completist, I'm like, just get it. I just want to go on because Shabby, you don't want to end the relationship, but still have all the CDs and the underwear laying around, right? You want to just be done. You want to clear the room out and get rid of the evidence.
The toothbrush.
You always find that love letter after a couple of months.
Yeah.
From Shabby.
I remember when Josh got me this. I remember.
I remember. Yeah.
That's so good.
It's such an interesting point, and maybe this is my whole look. Here's a picture. Get ready.
Put up the picture.
Look, I'm not just making topics for our pod.
He's not just
I feel
the
like
president.
I've done this once.
He's also
but now freaking Shabby.
Done it twice.
Well, this is now twice.
Oh,
but that's the collection in its entirety. So you have two 40-gallon bins, three 27-gallon bins, and one I think it's 17 or 20, whatever, at the top.
How many is that in liters?
I have no idea. Shabby, you do your weird UK math and figure it out.
That picture is, to me, when I see that picture, that is so cool and depressing at the same time. Like, my gosh, that is full of awesome Black Series goodness.
That's to the hilts on all of them.
And it's also ready to get moved.
Yeah. Well, but if you look in the background through the doorway, that was my office that is now being converted. You can, even if you zoomed in,
There's
can see
5 more tubs in there.
That's not Black Series. That's
Okay.
just other collection stuff. That just needs. I just need it in a safe place until I get it in its good place. Is where I'm at.
You know,
Because I'm moving
if you-
from the. Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. If you slap a pair of legs on that, that's like the most that's the silliest gonk droid
Yeah,
you've ever
that's
seen.
That's a huge bit. That's a gong
Yeah,
droid right
that's a-
there. That's a big bit.
That's a big gong droid.
Yeah. So anyway, that's me just kind of
Josh says the leftover underwear is okay.
It's a very enthusiastic thumbs up too.
yes. 2 very happy thumbs up.
So anyway, we're the title of the episode was strategy. So that's what we're talking about. So can we just lock down? So we have one very good strategy from Shabby. But by the way, Shabby, you have a unique connection. If you were somebody, you have a community that we communicate with in 3 different places all the time, right? Like Twitter, and then we have a chat group, and then we have our own shows that we do.
Yes,
The
sir.
second three, is that even a thing? The other 3 would be eBay part by part, hybrid, which would be, or I'm sorry, Facebook groups part by part, or kind of a shop. And then I guess there's a 4th, which would be a hybrid of all of those. You unload the valuable stuff on eBay or places, or really it would be the community. I would say, to your point, Shabby, you could go on a Facebook community and you would save them money, because you could drop off like the price that you would, the premium you pay through eBay to sell it, and kind of discount that built into the price. A lot of the guys that I see on those Facebook communities, they're selling items, Black Series items that are $10 or $15, $20 more on eBay. Plus shipping. That's what they're doing. They're doing like
It's hard for us though, because I'll go on on our live stream and I'll say, bloody scalpers, they want $70 for this. And if I was ever to sell my stuff, I'd look a bit hypocritical if I'm selling it for $70 after I've just spent all week saying, you know what I mean, scalpers are arses and all that stuff.
But are you a scalper? The difference
that's
is
the
are
thing.
you a scalper?
If I was ever going to sell it to make money, I would come away from our community. You know what I mean? I wouldn't. That's the way I would do it. But
right.
I'd always. It's just difficult because, like I said, and I don't want to repeat myself, so many people in this community have looked after me and helped me get this. I would want to pay it forward first. Then, if I wanted to sell it off as a bulk, I'd probably do it somewhere else. I think a toy shop or an independent place, I'd probably sell it to them all as one. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So, Josh, Gilster has brought this up a couple times, and I want to throw it out there. What do you think about hosting an auction?
Well, that's a good idea.
That might be a shitload of fun.
That could be. Now, we could do an auction for the whole group.
No,
or
one by one. 176 pieces, 12-hour pod.
Oh,
come on.
Shit.
Come on, buy, what is his name? Kronos, or the guy that you could get for nothing.
Oh,
you know what I'm talking about,
Yeah.
It's not Kronos.
It's from Solo.
Oh, he was in every Target.
Right, it was $30 when he came
$30,
out, but then he dropped down to 20. Moloch.
Thank you. Moloch.
Yes.
Or we just be left with Moloch.
Constable Zuivo.
First guy to guess how many fingers I'm holding up behind my back, it's Moloch.
I like Moloch. I think he's a good figure.
I love
great
Moloch too. They put a lot of love and care into that one.
Yeah, he's well made, and nobody bought him.
No,
Right.
I mean, guess what action figure 411 prices him at?
Like $9.
Zero.
Negative.
No, he's zero.
An auction's a good idea. You see, now that's good, because if you didn't want to turn around, say, for example, you were selling a figure and you had 2 lads that really wanted it, it's up to them what they pay for. You haven't set a price. So that's a good idea. That's a really good idea.
That's number 5
Hey,
right now.
Josh, before you do that, can I just offer you $0 for that Moloch figure?
For Moloch, yeah.
Please?
Yeah, plus $90 shipping, no problem.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No. Moloch
Hashtag
comes free with every Ray and BB-8.
Yeah.
Nice.
So I know we're talking about this as though it's personal to us, but this really does address a larger question. There are times when we need to, either by need or by want, to get rid of a lot of items at one time in such like our collections. So how do we do that in the best way? And so, we've talked about a few different ways to do that as a group, as in, part it out into subgroups, or just even go individual items. Like there are ways to do that. We've talked about, Josh and I have talked about having our own table at a con where we could sell whatever we wanted to put up for sale, and usually it costs anywhere between like $50 to $300 to have a table at these cons, depending on how big they are and how well attended they are. And
mostly for a platform to have a table and set up our pod gear and pod from a con is
that'd be
what I want to do.
That'd be totally fun. But we've talked about this. In fact, we're going to one in a couple weekends. It's too late for us to get a table now, but we've talked about, maybe we bring this to a place like that where people are there to purchase what we have to offer, instead of like doing a garage sale, or instead of putting it on Craigslist where it's hit and miss, or even doing eBay where you never know where it's going and if they're going to try and flip it, which might be fine, it might not be. But anyway, all that to say is that how do you address the question of, if you have a lot of something that you would like to get rid of, what's the best way of doing it in the least sentimental way possible? Because once you start going down, because as we have said, there's the monetary value, there's the perceived value, and there's the sentimental value, right? So we're battling these three things when we get rid of things that we have taken the time and energy and patience to go out and get. Now, what do we do when we want to send them to someone else?
Sure.
I have a question, actually. And maybe you guys know this or have spoken to people who've tabled before, but what's the percentage of stuff that people bring that they end up hauling back?
Probably a lot. I'd say it's got to be 80. I'd say it'd be 70 to 80, depending on what your product is. We've been to some good cons and
prices, prices and product. Like if you've got reasonable prices, people will buy. If you've got a lot of selection, you're going to reach more of an audience. If you're more specific, you're not going to sell as much because there's fewer people that look at the one thing. So like a couple weekend, like I potted about it a couple weeks ago, I went to a con where like there was a booth that had just My Little Pony. Okay. That's it.
What do you say, Shabby? Me and you trade our collections in My Little Pony. Start together.
I'll go for that. Yeah.
You're bronies.
We'll be bronies.
So like that is a specific line of toy, and they had a wide variety. They probably had 200 like displayed open and out, like to purchase, but that is a very specific, and that table only had My Little Pony. So the chance of them selling, I think it was only $70 to have a table there, in a weekend, in a Friday and a Saturday, did they get $70 worth of merchandise sold? Probably, because $70 isn't too hard to do, but did they make $1,000? Probably not.
Yeah.
So
we have some good comments in the chat. I just wanted to bring up some philosophies from them, because that's why we did this, right? We're talking about it. All right. So we had Captain Mule say, if you part a collection out, I suggest lots of 10 that has between 3 to 4 the less desirables, figures mixed with desirables. Obviously, this would be like a Facebook community group or even an eBay lot. I've actually seen a guy on Etsy that does a fantastic job, not with Black Series, but he'll take even vintage figures. You and I know we sell vintage figures for $5 and $10, that are not the hot lots. And by the way, I've paid premium prices for vintage figures that are graded or desirable, whatever. But this guy does a great job of kind of mixing them up, and he takes really fantastic pictures, builds scenes with them, and then takes a picture. I think that's a great idea. Like if you want to put the time in and say like, hey, maybe Han and Hoth Han and Hoth Leia and Hoth Luke, plus the Millennium Falcon, plus not the Millennium Falcon, the Snowspeeder, and then the Hoth battle scene with the troopers in it. That what's quick off the top of your head, we'll say $100, if they're all loose.
Yeah.
But maybe if you display it properly, you know, and we'll say $50, maybe you can sell like $75 or $100 because not that you're scalping, but you're kind of saying like, here's the set.
You're just presenting it in a more desirable
Like
way.
I would take that guy's set and be like, I would pay the money just because I saw this picture and I want all those parts to make that picture happen in my collection. You know, that's what I would pay for.
Right,
but
right.
Anyway,
Sometimes the complete collection though is more alluring. When The Force Awakens came out, I bought every 5 POA there was. I bought every shape. I bought the Falcon. I bought the vehicles. And I bought every figure. So it's a complete set. So sometimes when you're selling it, it sounds a bit more alluring. The complete set of. Do you see what I mean? So you don't have to look for something else. So that's another way of looking at it.
Well, and there's plenty of people like that's what the blue and orange line provide is a complete set. In my opinion, if you buy an orange line complete, then you can kind of be like, I have an orange line, but I'm dabbling in
12 figures.
I'm dabbling. I know, and you feel complete though. It's done. Right. And the blue line, it's done. So I like that too. That's the kind of the mentality, right? And then Shabby, you know, scraped and scrabbled to fill up your 112. So that's you know, those are the questions. And we've been talking about this for a while. So I want to think of it. There's a couple more in the chat there. You know, Gary puts out sell them in lots, 1 high value, 2 to 3 medium, and 1 low. You know, and that's kind of the thoughts we go out there as well.
Like put them in $100 lots. Like this.
I thought of doing that. I thought of doing $100 lots. Includes a great figure plus a couple that fill it up. You know, includes a great figure plus a couple that fill it up. You know,
so it might be worth a little bit more than 100, but because you're getting some of the other ones,
they're always lot. You always have to give a discount. That's why you sell a lot, right? You're never trying. That was my whole point with the action figure 411 when you asked me, like, yeah, if you go full retail. Then or full eBay retail value,
average retail
that's ridiculous. Value. You can't charge that for your lot. You have to give a discount on that by considerable. I think you'd have to start at 20% and work your way down. Yeah. You know, given that. So, but anyway, and now Shabby's got me all mixed up.
Josh, you mentioned that you know about selling the orange as a full like collection, and I don't know how many people have phased out their collection since they started doing the new packaging, but that's got to help when you have like you can say I have all of the Rebels figures and the artwork is distinct and the cover art, the color is distinct. You know what I mean? Like that has to help people like in your situation, right?
Yes, the completest. That's what they look for. Like exactly what I said. The allure of it. You know, you've got the whole set of that Montauk. Brilliant. I'll have it. Do you know what I mean?
So as opposed to like 100 numbers, which you know you could have everything from Moloch to you know
who doesn't have a number
and Skywalker, right?
Target exclusive.
Yeah. Target exclusive.
Fucking
still you could probably still walk into a Target and find that guy. All right, let's wrap this up a little bit and thank you everyone. It's a conversation. I mean, it's a nerdy collector's conversation on a specific toy, but which we haven't had in this depth. We've talked about it before, but we've never gone down like you saw the bins, like that thing. My collection is in stasis right now because it has to be moved anyway. So, and that was my whole deal was like, I just don't know how to move this. I don't know how to move it. The community was definitely an idea, but that I have to be frank with you. The community can be sporadic too. Just like, you know, it can be like, oh, everyone, you know, and I just feel like, how can I get this done? Look, let's just go with the lazy factor. How can I get this done with the least amount of effort? You know, like I'm already depressed. I'm already getting rid of it. And I don't, you know, I don't really want to. Well, Shabby's going to take that and run. Not that I don't want to. It's like, part of me doesn't want to because I touched every figure.
What does your heart tell you?
Oh, you're cool. Oh,
what does your heart tell you?
I don't understand. I just don't understand. Do you know what I mean? They're cool. You're going to get rid of him and then you're going to be gutted. You're going to go, what have I done? And you're going to go through all these cons and you're going to see them all lined up and went, I used to have that. I used to have that. And it's going to ruin you.
I'm not going to flex. I'm just going to require an invite so I can come over to your house and see your collection.
Shabby Con 2020.
And then I'm just 2022. I'm just going to be like, I have that. I have that. I have that. Yeah.
I gave you that.
Yeah. I remember that. You're not having it back. You know.
I remember that.
There's one more thing that I want to bring up in this, and that's Josh. You did at one time have a much smaller but still significant Lord of the Rings figure collection
I did.
in box. You did. And you unloaded them all at once
Yeah.
to a toy shop in Portland.
So I've already done option 4, I think is what it was.
Okay. And there were what, like 26, 28 figures, maybe
Right.
box figures all together. And there was some mugs.
It wasn't a Black Series, but also like now that you're saying that, I just thought I kind of have a 6-inch figure history, because that's what kind of Lord of the Rings would be right in those those Toy Biz guys in the same size boxes were 6-inch figures.
And so you did not sell them.
No,
You traded.
I traded.
And would you guys like to see what he traded them for? So there's 28 figures.
28
We'll say, I think it's
plus
about 28.
a couple box stuff, whatever.
Yeah. Some mugs and whatever.
Yeah.
But it was Josh's at the time.
I got to get these out of my garage.
I got to get these tubs out of my garage. This is what he traded for.
One of.
Okay. There were 2 that came together. This was Josh's first sideshow / hot toy. And it is old guy Han.
Veteran Han.
Veteran The Force Awakens in a blue snow jacket Han Solo. Okay. That also came with, Josh, put me on the big screen.
Yeah, you got it, buddy. Sorry, I should have had that already. I was just staring at him. He's beautiful.
Yeah, you were staring at him. So you tell me, does that look like a pretty good version?
That's a damn good Harrison.
It's got the nice DL44. The blue jacket is somewhat iconic in the snow. It's got a nice base. Killer boots, man. They're actual leather, not pleather.
And probably pleather.
Maybe they're pleather. Anyway.
Oh, look at him. He's good. All right, show him the other one.
Okay. The other one is what really caught my eye and was I absolutely love this. It's also a Force Awakens. They came together, yeah?
Yeah. It was a deluxe set.
I gotta
Get
Is that Lumpy?
Lumparoo.
Oh, that's not Lumpy.
Yeah, he's cool. It's a cool set. It was a cool set. I think, shop retail value is like $400 for the pair.
Wow.
And to be honest, my Lord of the Rings set was probably worth $5 or $6. I thought I got a pretty good deal, and it was a good trade. And trade was easier than parting it out. And that's where I always feel like trades are.
Well, the toy shop, I think what they saw was an opportunity to get 28 things for 2 things.
Yeah.
And the ability to sell 28 things.
Technically one. They came in the same box.
That's true.
Yeah.
So they got more individual things that they could probably move easier than one big thing that would only be for a certain kind of. You'd reach more casual, I guess.
Anyway, I mean,
whatever.
we're just in this weird spot, right? The collector's quandary. We had 5 options. There's probably 10 more.
So, Josh,
now-
are you interested in potentially trading?
I mean, trade would be
Kinda cool.
fun.
That'd be a big
is fun.
trade.
Trade is always fun.
Be a big trade.
What would you? I mean, what are you interested in focusing on next? Or
Yeah,
do you already have? Oh, just Hot Toys.
Yeah, I like Hot Toys. Like Hot Toys, like if somebody came to me and said, I'll trade you your Black Series collection for these Hot Toys that you don't have, whatever. Yeah, I think that would be ideal, because what it would do is, like, to Shabby's point, who so eloquently said, supporting the community, it would, for one, it would send them to a good home, right? That's what I want. I want them to go to a good home. And then it would also give me something that wasn't just cash, where the cash could maybe go, maybe it buys a couple things, but the rest goes somewhere else. And there's a lot of time and effort, right, Shabby? There's a ton of time and effort to pick these guys up.
It is. It's hard work.
It's hard work.
It is
hard work, and it's and the sentimental value. But anyway, we've talked about it enough. I think while we were talking about a Black Series collection today, which is what I have, and I know we talk about Black Series a lot, but it's what I have, and the Hot Toys is what we're getting, and posters, and it's hard. It's hard to part ways. Like Shabby so perfectly said, it's like a girlfriend, a good date.
Yeah, it is.
So who knows? I don't know. Maybe Shabby's talking me out of it again. Freaking Shabby. Why do we let him in?
Well, the thing is,
after this, I'm going to put my video back up of you. So,
God damn it.
Oh,
so the thing is,
Good
also
question, though,
too, I
Jackson.
don't know if you've thought about this, Josh, but what you're getting rid of them and replacing them with, is it going to be better?
For me right now, for where I'm kind of at, yeah. I mean, and that's okay. I mean, there's no like you could tease me and Shabby about the Chewy decimal system. Like you're displaying the sides of boxes, but I'm like but that's cool, right? Like tell me what number
that's pretty cool.
Tell me what number 97 is, or 90, is it 96? Yeah, and that's Mando. You pull him down, and you're like, oh, and here's a white box version of him,
Mando's 94.
94. Perfect. See, Shabby's better than me. I haven't counted him. So what's 97? Is that the sister then? Or she
97 is First Order.
Oh, he's
Stormtrooper.
First Order Storm. Anywhere in the 90s, you're gonna find those first editions. Do you have the first edition, Shabby?
No,
you have the white boxes?
No white boxes. None. No.
Interesting.
Yeah. No white boxes.
See that? You see Shabby do the little shoulder shrug?
Like,
No, he's like, I have no white boxes.
Oh, bad.
Showing a little shoulder.
Yeah.
I don't. Do you know anybody that does?
Well.
All right. It's time to wrap this up. Enough about that. But I don't know if we've accomplished anything except for just a lot of good comments in the chat as far as what you could do, which I appreciate. A lot of good intel from Shabby, from Andy.
The chat was thoughtful. Our discussion was thoughtful because I think I speak for Josh when I say this, is like, because we've taken time, like, and I've contributed to your collection. And
absolutely.
And so have other people. And so, like, even though it's not mine, I want you to have peaceful resolution with it. And I want them to go to a good place, because you got a really nice collection here that somebody could really enjoy. Right.
That's my point. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I want, because I know you and I care about you and your happiness. Like I want there to be like a good resolution to this too, where you walk away satisfied and you're able to do whatever the next phase of this ends up being.
Sure.
An amicable breakup.
So next,
let's do it for the kids.
Next time, stay together for the kids.
Yeah, well, that's how I feel right now with Shabby. Now I'm like, I'm staying together for the kids.
So next week's topic is selling our collections for classic automobiles. So, what do you think, Shab? I know you love your collection and your Black Series, but there is a car out there that you would trade it for, isn't there?
Without a shadow of a doubt, yeah.
Oh, there is a price, Shabby.
There's always a price. Yes.
Well, Shabby, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
As the community Black Series expert and connoisseur, I appreciate your opinion, and it has not helped me at all. And you've made me feel bad, and I'm gonna go drink.
It's not you, it's me. Jaxxon, thanks for hanging out with us as well, and a very cool bit that you had for us tonight. I always love listening to you. I always learn something, and the chat, you guys were awesome tonight.
Yeah, great interaction.
You guys,
it's kind of like we just got to chill. We never really told anybody that Andy and I tried to get a little tuned up before the show, and it was so much fun to just kind of hang out and talk. If you give Andy and I have like 15 to 20 minutes of pre-show time, because Andy rolls in. Tonight we had like an hour.
Yeah,
that resulted in a couple shots. We were telling gross stories,
and we were telling gross stories,
and then it was like, 5 minutes late. Come on.
No, wait a minute. No, Jackson said he'd be on at 6:30. We need to go downstairs.
He's all right. We'll give him 10.
All right, 6:37. 6:37.
But thanks so much, everyone, for joining us. This has been the Holo Chronicles with Shabby and Jaxxon
in
and
the chat,
chat.
and those listening on the rewind. Thanks for jumping in with us. Got some big news on the way from the Holo Chronicles
Yeah.
next week.
yeah, some fun news.
We're gonna
and,
have some hats in. We got some hats.
They're in.
We'll
show you
talk
next
about
week.
how we're gonna get them to you guys. So lots coming up as summer gets going here with Josh and Andy and the Holo Chronicles. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're not gonna sell them, go play with your toys. Thanks.